Alright, welcome to my first build. This is going to be a new desk for my living room. Right now we have a 7-foot long, 29-inch high, plain desk that was actually built out of an IKEA cheap desk that I put wood over. But today we're going to make a hardwood desk out of some 2x12, some 2x6s, some angle iron, and some other odds and ends. Hope you enjoy it. Behind me is my submission for the Rockler Desk Challenge hosted by the Modern Maker Podcast. The inspiration for this desk stems from the cultivation of design elements from places such as Pinterest, Restoration Hardware, and other YouTube DIYers. But ultimately, I just needed a custom piece to fit my needs. My goal in this design was to embrace simplicity, functionality, and affordability. The components of this desk provided all three and agreed with the overall style. Given this piece would reside in our living room, we wanted the finished product to match the surroundings and the decor. Our living room consists of different woods and metals with a minimal rustic flair, heavy on brown, black, gray, and white colors. Let's start from the bottom. These casters serve two purposes. One, they provide mobility, which was an important element in this build. And two, on average, desk heights typically range between 28 inches to 32 inches. My original design fell approximately 4 inches to 5 inches short based on key materials and eliminating unnecessary excess purchasing. These 3-inch casters made up the difference by 4.5 inches, making the desk stand approximately 30 inches high. This brings us to the table support, the bookshelf style legs. Enter angle iron. This combination of metal and wood in the build fulfilled the design quality while providing an even more important characteristic to the build, stability. The main components include shelves that are approximately 11 inches wide, 24 inches deep, and 1.5 inches thick, all made from one 2x12 Douglas fir board and 4 pieces of 1.5 inch plain steel angle measuring 24 inches long, cut from two 48-inch long pieces. These 4 angles are fastened together with 2.5 inch lag screws and finished off with a lot of sanding, staining, and painting. This is my second time creating a tabletop. One other honorable mention project is when I used 8 5/4 inch boards to make a behind the sofa table. Similarly to that design, I used a doweling jig to align and glue up the tabletop. However, for this desk, I wanted to limit the amount of lumber and add breadboard ends. This tabletop was constructed using 3 2x6x12s cut in half, which left me with 6 boards each at 6 feet in length, and since it was dimensional lumber, 1.5 inches thick. Of course, to properly align each board, I used my table saw to rip cut 4 boards on each side and 2 of the boards on one side, as the 2 uncut sides would fall on the outside of the tabletop. After the glue up and a lot of sanding, I was left with a tabletop measuring 82 inches long by 26 inches deep. As mentioned before, it took a lot of research of nominal board sizes and recalculations after rip cuts to properly identify the correct boards needed for this build. Of course, you could make adjustments with fewer or more boards, but I felt the 2x6s would allow just the right amount of grain change and provide enough surface area while remaining affordable. At this point in the build process, I had 3 main components, 1 tabletop and 2 bookshelf legs. The style of this desk didn't necessarily require assembly at the destination, however, I wanted to have that option. I turned the table upside down and drilled 4 lag bolts through the top of each leg into the tabletop. The final touches of the build can be categorized into 2 buckets. The first bucket was storage. Yes, the bookshelf legs allow for minimal decor and baskets and bins. However, this was not ideal for items such as pens, pencils, wires, cables, batteries, and other smaller supplies. After a tremendous amount of research and narrowing down of options, I ultimately decided against building drawers that would span the width of the desk for one reason. These drawers would impede upon your legs and chair arms, and this decision would pay off in spades later. Instead, I perused Amazon and discovered 2 types of pencil drawers that would provide a significant amount of storage space while taking up minimal vertical space. Surprisingly, these 3 drawers store a wide range of items, such as tools, cables, adapters, pens, pencils, erasers, cable ties, headphones, notebooks, and so on. The other final design touch was cable management. Depending on your workspace, you could require a significant amount of camouflage. Unfortunately, I knew I would be running quite a bit of cable, so I opted for the IKEA Signum rack in a 2x4 painted black to run horizontally across the back of the desk to hide any cables from sticking out. A quick pro tip: one other thing I decided to purchase was a USB power strip that I mounted at the back of my desk for quick access to charging items. This has also proven to be extremely useful and even more practical than a wireless charger, as I use a lot of products that are not capable of that method of charging. Overall, I'm really happy with the finished piece. It's my 3rd or 4th furniture project, but definitely the one that required the most research and planning. If you're interested, I'll have a list of materials and supplies linked in the description below. The final cost of the desk, from bolts to lumber to stain, was approximately $275. However, if you opt out of the pencil drawers, it falls to just $175. You can also opt for only 2 casters on each side, lowering the final cost even more. Compare that to the price of a desk of similar style on Restoration Hardware or even Wayfair, and this build is a fraction of the cost. Obviously, as you can see, I've added a lot more to the desk and will be releasing a follow-up video on my complete desk setup and peripherals. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you want to check out the full desk setup, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it when I publish that video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.